Serving their community is who they are because they love where they live. REMAX 3D Real Estate is proud to bring you Heart of Greenville, a video series dedicated to celebrating all the wonderfully great things about Greenville, Texas. On every episode, Dennisha Denny will share Greenville's story through the stories of people who call Greenville home. This is Heart of Greenville.
Thank you so much for watching Heart of Greenville. Our show would not be possible without our sponsors, so I want to give a quick shout out to REMAX 3D Real Estate, who serves our local community for all of your real estate needs. Whether you're buying or selling, we are here to help you. I also want to thank Triton Networks. They are a business solution for all of our businesses. They're a one-stop shop. Whether you're looking for voice, data, networking, they're there for you. Our guest today is Mr. Ixit Patel. He's the owner of Wings to Go, and he's also a classmate of mine. I can't wait for you to hear my conversation with him, talking about how he opened the company, but also the journey he went through whenever he found out he had cancer. Here's my conversation with Ixit. Hey y'all, I'm Dennisha Denny, your host of Heart of Greenville, and today we're sitting down on the third floor at the landmark on Lee Street at The Landing. And I have an old classmate with me today, Mr. Ixit Patel. He's the owner of Wings to Go, and I am so excited about our conversation today. Thank you so much, Ixit, for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so I know we did a fun little video yesterday. We can talk about it because by the time this airs, that will have aired.
Let's hope so.
with the hometowner.
Yes.
And so I was so glad that you were there and we could sit down and talk, because I have always wanted to know the story of how you got into Wings to Go and how you started it and why you did. So can we start there with like how you got involved with it?
Sure. Basically, right after high school, I went into the computer field. And I did that for several years, and I worked in the Dallas area, obviously, because not a whole lot of jobs unless you work at L3.
Right. I was going to say, L3 is the main option.
Right. And so I jumped around from company to company for a while, just wherever I could go, wherever I was needed. And then, obviously, working in Dallas, you go out to eat lunch all the time. So you eat at a lot of places.
You're right.
And so me and my friends, coworkers, we'd always go to the typical ones, obviously.
Right.
I won't name them.
We're not going to name those.
And then,
I've named wing places.
And then we happened upon Wings to Go, and the one in Plano.
Okay.
At the time. And we whoa, this is so much better. The product was so much better. And so
was it the flavor or like the meat, the chicken itself? Okay.
I mean, you could tell that it was done fresh.
Okay.
And they took the time to do it right. You know, it wasn't pre-cooked. You could tell the freshness.
Right.
So we really enjoyed it. And so towards the end of my computer field career, at the time, my buddy, my partner, we just got interested in maybe opening a restaurant. And so it's like, if we're going to do it, I want to do it in my hometown. You know, save me from commuting every day, because now I can drive 2 minutes to work. And so we chose to open it in Greenville.
Oh wow!
And
did your friend live in Dallas?
He lives in Rockwall, so we always met at his house, and half the time he would drive, half the time I would drive, to save us fuel, save us maintenance on our cars.
Right.
So it worked out for the both of us.
Yeah.
And so we contacted Wings to Go, and we're like, we're interested. And so that's how it started.
Oh, wow.
And we bought the old Fitzpatrick place, the spare rib, and remodeled it at the time. It's already been forever.
Isn't that crazy?
But it is. It's gone. Time has flown by.
So have you been in that location all 17 years?
All 17 years since we bought the building in early 04, spent all summer remodeling it, and then I think it was November 04 is when we opened the doors.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's going on 17 years.
Wow.
So, and that's how we got started. Just the love of wings and eating out, and got tired of the commuting and driving and jumping from company to company, and just wanted something more stable for me, and being my own boss. And like I said, I've always wanted to own a business, and figured, why not do it in my hometown?
Right. I love that you brought it back home. I think that's awesome. So were you married at that point?
I was not.
Okay.
I was not. Like I said, I opened in 04. I got married in 09, 5 years later, to Cynthia, my wife. We met her in martial arts at the old karate school that used to be in the mall, the American Karate School in the mall. And we met there, and at the time we were just friends for the longest time. And then, that's why the 04 jersey in the restaurant, that it was the karate school, and Cynthia had that made for me because I opened in '04.
Aw.
So I get customers and kids. I always ask me if I play for the Dallas Cowboys. I wish. But no, didn't ever play for them. But I do tell
cool.
them that I was the original '04 before that.
Hey, that's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, 17 years and going strong, and hopefully maybe another 17 years more. We'll see.
Yeah. So, okay, do y'all have kiddos?
We do.
Okay. Do they come and help?
Cynthia had 3 from a previous marriage. I pretty much raised them, and then she finally said in '09, she said, if we're going to have kids of your own, we need to get married. I was like, so that was the proposal. She's like,
So she basically asked you to
she's
get
like,
married.
you're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, but we've been together for a while now. Let's just get married. I was like, sure. And so, wasn't the most romantic thing, but we made it work. And we had
cool.
3 more children.
You had 3 more?
Yeah. So I have
wow.
a 12-year-old now. He just turned 12 on the 11th, which is a Saturday.
Aw.
I have a 10-year-old daughter and then a 7-year-old son.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, so 2 boys and 1 girl of my own, but
yeah.
we total have 6 kids.
How fun.
Yeah.
I bet Christmas is fun when you guys
They
all
can
come
be.
together.
Yeah. It was always, and having the older kids made it, taking care of the younger 3 a lot easier,
Oh, I'm
obviously.
sure.
And then 2 of my daughters have worked for me over the years. 1 still does. And then my sister also works for me. She also works at Greenville Trophies. But she works for me and helps me out. So it's a family-owned, family-run business.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I know. I love our family-owned, family-ran,
Yeah.
people coming back home to put their businesses in here.
Yeah.
It means so much
Right.
for us to do that.
When I did sign the contract with Wings to Go to open a Wings to Go, I had the rights to Rockwall, Rowlett, and Terrell. But
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, well, I could have opened in any of those locations, but I figured Greenville would be the best one.
Yes,
Yeah.
you chose right.
Yeah.
So are you going to open in those other territories as well?
No, I think one's enough for me.
One's good?
Keeps me occupied. I have other interests in life. So,
Yeah.
working all the time and running one business is plenty enough for me.
Right. Oh, so
it was never my intent to become a millionaire, just to take care of my family.
I love that. So what are some of your other interests?
Well, at the time it was karate, and I did that for a long time.
Oh, wow. Did you
before
work your way up to your black
I
belt?
did. I got my 2nd degree black belt in karate.
Congratulations.
Competed in lots of tournaments. Won some.
How fun.
Yeah. I had tons of trophies, medals, and then I did jiu-jitsu for a while. After I got my black belt in karate, I did Aikido for a while. And then once the restaurant opened, it was on the back burner. It's kind of hard to compete and travel and run a
Right.
business, especially a brand new business.
Exactly.
So,
What was it like? I mean, it's not like you had restaurant experience, right?
no, none at
I mean,
all.
like you
My
would-
first job was at a Pizza Inn, but that was when I was 16. And opening a restaurant in my 20s, late 20s, it was scary.
I bet.
But we got a little training from Wings to Go. We went to a corporate store at the time. There was one in Tyler.
Okay.
And they went there for a week, and we trained there. And they actually had us hands-on doing everything. And then once we got ready to open in Greenville, they came and helped us open the store up just to assist us and make sure we did everything the right way.
Wow.
And so we learned and went from there.
Trial and error.
Trial
I'm
and
sure.
error. And over the years, we still make mistakes, but we get through it.
That's cool. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment with the business?
Just staying open for 17 years.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's hard running a business. And then, constantly dealing with food costs and bills and employee issues, getting them to come in and actually come into work sometimes
Yes.
in itself is a chore.
Yes.
It's like dealing with more kids outside of your home.
Right.
But we make it work. I've had some loyal employees over the years that lasted several years on end. And then some only last a week, some only last a month, and
Yeah.
it's turn around and try to find some more.
yeah. And just
But that's
train
part of
them
the
again.
food business. Unfortunately, that is, that's everybody deals with that in the food industry is, turnaround on employees.
how did COVID impact you?
Honestly, COVID was a great year for us.
Really? That's
It was
wonderful.
amazing how the community kept and supported us.
Oh,
A lot of businesses shut down. My employees, I told them, I was like, we want to stay open. I was like, we don't want to shut down.
Right.
I said, so your job is to go home, come to work. Go home, come to work. Do not go hang out with friends, because you never know.
Yeah.
If one of y'all gets sick, we all get sick.
Then you all get sick.
And then we're all closed. We don't make money. You don't get paychecks. And not one employee that whole year was sick.
Wow.
And still
what a
to this
blessing.
day, not one of us has had COVID yet.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So all of us have, we wore masks. We took care of each other. We wash everything. Wash our hands, wash the tables. I mean, we did everything we could to make sure every employee, every customer was safe the entire time. And we never shut down.
awesome.
And then the community obviously kept us going.
Yeah.
We never, lost business. And in some months, we actually had great sales.
Right. Okay. So I learned something in your story yesterday when
What's
we were
that?
talking, and we won't name any names.
Okay.
But the businesses or the companies that come and pick up the food from you and
Yes.
deliver them to the consumer
Right.
for us.
Yes.
So I won't name names of
Right.
businesses that do that. What I learned was they have a fee on your side, but they also have one on the consumer side, right?
Correct. Yes. A lot of those third-party delivery services really hurt small businesses. They're beneficial, yes, because during COVID is when I first started using them.
Right.
Because I knew a lot of customers would not want to get out.
Right.
So it was beneficial for us to get involved with them.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like if you sign up for one of those services, you can buy different memberships to control your cost.
Right.
And that's how they're making their money. And then on top of us, they take a percentage of our sales.
From your sales.
So they're
I thought,
almost double dipping.
well, I thought the markup, because I knew there was a markup. And I was
Yes.
like, okay, I'm paying for convenience. I understand
Yes.
that. But I didn't realize that didn't go back to you.
No,
and
it
so
does not.
that's why I wanted to share that, because I don't know that everyone knows that.
No.
And I didn't realize. So not only are we, the consumer, being charged, but so are you as the owner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
that's how these companies make billions of dollars in profit every
Right.
year.
And
And it is convenience.
and it
but
has a place.
It does have a place.
It has a place in for our
And I
community.
understand companies want to make money,
Right.
but when you're delivering for a small business versus a McDonald's or whoever,
Right.
that's a huge difference.
I mean, it has saved me before because my kiddos might have forgotten their lunch.
Right.
And I couldn't break away to go get it for them.
Yeah.
And so I sent them lunch. So it definitely has a place. But it's made me more aware that if I'm able to go pick it up and not have to do that service
Yeah.
for a locally owned business, I should take that initiative to do that.
That really
for your
helps us out.
profitability.
That
So-
it keeps more of our money in our store to help pay our bills, help pay our employees.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, I paid minimum wage, which was like $8.25 an hour,
Right.
all up until last year. And when the pandemic happened, I told my employees, I said, y'all deserve more money. I was like, it hurts the bottom line, but y'all deserve more money. And so I bumped all of them up to over $10 an hour.
That's
or I had
awesome.
$10 an hour, and then
Yeah.
a couple of them make a little bit more because they've been there with me
Right.
for the longer
Well,
time.
I mean, that loyalty
Yeah,
is
and
rewarded for
that's
that.
for a small business. That's huge for us.
Yes.
And there's still businesses out there that are bigger and more well known. They're still paying minimum wage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I'm so thankful that you're able to do that. And
Yeah.
that means that just shows that you've been blessed and,
Yeah.
and can do that. So now, does Cynthia work in the business also, or does she?
she actually helped out the first few years, even when Rush was born in 09. There was a few months after Rush was born, she had him in a carrier working the
Aw,
register.
And doing the register.
And that's
sweet.
because we were hurting for employees and we
Yeah.
needed somebody up there. And she's helped out over the years, but for the last few years, she's not really been needed, so which is a great thing.
Yeah. So
but
she's
she
able
helps
to
out
stay
when
home.
she does, when
Yeah.
she needs to. But she's actually a teacher at Wiley High School.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, so
Okay.
she's been there for the longest time. She taught here in Greenville for a long time, but a few years back when Greenville was going through their troubles, she got a job offer in Wiley, and she's been there ever since,
Aw.
going on 18 years or whatever, even
Oh,
before I opened the
So
restaurant.
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
she-
that was a long time ago. Yeah.
yeah, that's forever ago.
yeah,
But
yeah.
now she got seniority there. She's been there
You
forever.
need to tell her
so
to come back because
Yeah.
now the school district is in such a great place.
Believe me, I would love to,
It's a whole
but she
different place
loves her
now.
job there, and she loves the people there,
Yeah.
and so she's.
Well, you want to
she's
love
happy.
where you work.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for sure.
And then our kids, unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but fortunately, they get to go to school there because she teaches there,
okay.
and so we don't have to cover those out of
Right.
district fees.
Right.
Um,
That's
and they
nice.
benefit from it because, not to say Greenville's not a great school district, it is. It's gotten so much better.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm glad they added the dual language program and stuff. But Rush, he's in 6th grade now. he's been in dual language since he was in kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
So they've had it forever.
Yeah.
You know, Greenville just added it a couple of years
I was
ago.
going to say, we just added that.
Yeah,
and
so
thankfully we have it
yes,
now.
and you know, the culinary department, everything that, the engineering, all that stuff that Greenville's added,
Yes.
wow, he's been doing for a long time.
Yeah.
And so-
Sometimes it just takes longer to
yeah,
get out
and
here
we
to
are a little
us.
smaller town, so
Yeah.
I understand, but you know, it benefited my kids.
Yeah,
So-
that's great. That's great. So where do you see yourself in the future?
Hopefully still owning a business. We'll see how that goes.
And just hanging on, just doing the one.
Just the one.
You're really smart to do that, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten into scouting. A few years ago in 2016, I got into scouting after my health scare. And then we've been really involved in that, both me and Cynthia and our kids.
When you say scouting, do you mean Boy Scouts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Scouts BSA. It's what it's called now.
Is it called now?
It's
Okay.
Scouts BSA. It's still
Okay.
Scouts, Boy Scouts of America. But it's not Boy Scouts of America anymore.
Okay.
It's Scouts BSA.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me.
Because they had started allowing girls in a few years ago,
Yes.
which I think was a great thing. You know, some people still have an issue with it, but my daughter wanted to do everything the boys wanted.
that they were doing. Well, she
You know,
gets to
and
learn
then
all
the
those
Girls
things.
Scouts still weren't putting those programs in place.
Oh, gotcha.
Even though they could have, but they didn't. And so,
I got an invitation to one of the fundraisers
Yeah.
where Dr. Ben Carson
Yeah.
is going to be the keynote speaker.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah. And so I think it's a
That's cool.
I think it's a great organization.
Well,
personally.
that's great. I mean,
And
they
my kids
teach
love it.
kids incredible
So much
skills and leadership skills and just, how to navigate real life instances.
And then I went and took a few leadership training courses to not only help me teach the kids, it helps me become a better leader in my own life and my
Right.
own home and in my own business.
Right.
And then now I'm involved more with teaching other kids, not just locally, but in our whole district.
Right.
So I'm really enjoying it. So that takes a lot of my time now.
That's awesome. Can we talk about your health scare for a minute?
Sure.
Share that with us.
In 2016, I was diagnosed with AML, which is leukemia. It was a form of leukemia. That really was a punch in the chest. You know?
I can't imagine.
But we got through it. I went through 4 rounds of chemo. Started in November. It was right at Thanksgiving is when
Wow.
I was sick for 3-4 weeks. And I just thought it was a common cold.
Okay.
And Cynthia's like, no, you're not getting any better. You need to finally go get a checkup. And so I encourage people to go do that now. Don't wait.
What were your symptoms?
Just cough, tired. I mean, I was laid up, but I went to work. You know, I wasn't contagious.
So you pushed yourself.
Yes,
and then,
because I was, what man really wants to go to, I mean, I say man, but
Right.
I'm a real man. But I didn't want to go to the doctor. I was like, I'll be fine. And put it off for weeks. And Cynthia finally made me go. And then went to the doctor, and she's like, you're borderline pneumonia. I shouldn't even let you go
wow.
home.
Oh, no.
She goes, I should hospitalize you. And I was like, well, I can't. I got to work.
You-
That's how I told her that.
Oh, my
And she's
goodness.
like, okay, well, I'll give you a steroid shot. We took x-rays, did blood work. And then she goes, gave me antibiotics. And she goes, okay, but if it doesn't get better, we're going to have to do something. And so that was a Thursday. And then Friday morning, she calls me, and I'm at the restaurant cutting chicken, like I
Yeah.
normally am, because we do everything fresh. We
Yeah.
do it, and so I'm cutting chicken, me and my employee, and getting ready for the day. And she calls and goes, your blood work came back, and it doesn't look good. I was like, what? And she goes, you need to come in, and we need to talk. I was like, I'm at work. Again, I put it back on work. I'm at work. I can't leave.
Yeah.
She goes, no, you need to come in. I was like, no, just tell me over the phone. And she said the cancer word. And I
gosh.
literally went into my office and broke down.
I'm sure. What did that feel like in that moment? Because it's almost like you probably can't hear.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you're
like,
she's
did
talking.
you really say that? Yeah.
Yeah, she's talking, but it's like
You can't
nothing.
hear the
There's
words.
nothing, yes. It's just silence.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, Rockwall Baylor's going to call you. You need to go do more blood work. And I was like, okay. So I hung up and went back to cutting chicken.
Oh my goodness. So you kind of went to your office, broke down.
Yeah, and got up and went
then
and started cutting chicken again.
Did you say something to
I
yourself?
didn't even tell Cynthia
Did you,
that night or nothing.
you just kept it to yourself?
Kept it to myself until I knew for sure.
How long did you keep it to yourself?
The following day, they called me again. I think it was a Monday. Went through the weekend, and then on Monday, I was back at work. I was like, Rockwell, and she calls me, my doctor's in Terrell. She calls me and goes, did Rockwell never call you? I said, no, they never called me. And she goes, well, I know. She goes, they don't want to see you. They want you to go straight to Baylor in Dallas.
Oh, no.
And they're like, take a couple days worth of clothes because you'll probably be staying there for a while. I was like, what? That was when it got real.
Okay, yeah. And now you're like, now I have to tell Cynthia.
And I was supposed to pick up the kids that day.
Oh, no.
Because Cynthia was was in a jury duty for that week in Dallas. She was on a grand jury. So she wasn't even at work in Wiley. She would take the kids to work that morning, go to Dallas to do her grand jury that she got selected for. And then, so I was supposed to go to Wiley to pick up the kids that day. And so I texted her, I said, you need to call me. And she's like, I can't, we're in the middle of the grand jury. And she's like, I'll call you at lunch. So I waited, and she calls me, and I was like, and I had to tell her over the phone.
Oh, no.
She said, go take care of yourself. We'll figure out the kids. And she ended up calling her dad, and her dad drove to Wiley and picked the kids up.
Got them.
And as soon as she got home, she went home, got her stuff, and she spent the rest of the time in the hospital with me.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
How long were you there?
Off and on for 3 months. So between each round, once I went in to do a round of chemo, is a big bag of chemo, I couldn't leave because it basically killed my immune system. And so anything would have got me sick, I could have died. So I didn't see the kids on 3 weeks to a month at a time.
Oh, my gosh.
Until my immune system was at a certain level where I could go home. And then I would recover for a few weeks and then right back in for another round.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I did four rounds that way between November and March, into March of 2017. And then that summer, Rush is like, Dad, I want to play baseball. And I've been wanting him to play baseball forever. So we played baseball that year, and we played baseball the following year. We got into scouting that summer, and it went from there, you know.
I think
it realized that Dad might not be around. I think it forced him to want to start doing more stuff with me.
Right.
And I loved it.
Did it force you to want to do more things too?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I put the restaurant aside after that.
Yeah.
I did. I stopped working a lot. You know, I went from working, open to close almost every day, 7 days a week or whatever it was, to I'm there during lunch, I write bills, do what I need to do, and try to let the employees just take care of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because that's their job, not me having to be over them.
Right. Man, that's
So,
incredible.
yeah. So now scouting and
So what
family
got
is
you
my
through that alone time in the hospital and not seeing your kids and
I watched a lot of Netflix. I'm a religious person, but not to the point where I go to church all the time. Cynthia and the kids go to church every Sunday religiously. She's Catholic, and our kids are Catholic. I was raised Hindu, obviously, because I'm Indian. So I have religion on both sides. And I go to church with them every so often, every now and then, but not regularly.
right.
But, I think when she was there with me at the hospital and the chaplains would come by, they're like, can we come in and pray with you? I was like, yeah. And I did that somewhat for myself, but
Yeah.
I did it more for Cynthia because I knew
Yeah.
that would comfort her.
Right.
And I think it really helped her get through it as well.
Right.
And me, not to say it
Yeah.
didn't help me.
Right.
Yeah.
At that point, anything
Yes,
that's positive
yes,
that
everything.
will,
So.
Did it change your perspective on religion?
Yes. I mean, again, I still don't go as often as I should, but I definitely believe in a higher power.
Yeah.
Some people say, I should be this religion or this religion. And I've never been that.
Right.
Growing up, even though I was raised Hindu, I had friends who went to different churches, and I went with them. My parents didn't care. And so I'm more of what I consider a free spirit. Yes, I believe in a higher power, but who am I to say what that higher power's name is?
Right.
Whether it's Jesus
And
or
that's
God or Krishna
Right.
or Buddha. Who am I to say what their name is? So that's me. That's me
Right,
personally.
right.
And I believe in every religion. I really do. I've been to just about every church you can name and every temple you can name because I've had
That
friends.
has to be a challenge to be in Hunt County.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
be in this part of Texas.
Yes,
And
I mean, there's temples in Dallas. Growing up, my parents, we would go to temples in Dallas. And in the Indian household, you have your own temple in your own house because it is so hard to find a temple that's so close by. So my parents have a little temple set up in the house, and they teach my kids the Hindu religion as well, but they learn the Catholic religion when they go to church.
Right.
And do Sunday school, and so it
That's
works.
good.
It works for our family.
It works for you. Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to do what works for you, and everybody's on their own journey.
Yes.
And they have to find what they believe in.
Correct.
So thank you for
And
sharing
I don't judge that.
Same.
Yeah.
No, same. I mean, and I appreciate you being willing to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
I have friends of all different types of religion
Exactly.
and everything. And I love that we can have a different opinion on it and still love one another.
Correct.
And I think that's the most important
Yep,
that we
I
can
agree.
do. So, okay. Did you grow up here the whole time? I know we graduated together, class
I
of 97.
did. Yes. Cheers. GHS
Yeah.
97. Yes, I grew up. From the time my parents took me off the airplane in DFW, I've been in Greenville, Texas my entire life.
Okay. And how old were you when they took you off
I
the
was
plane?
4.5 years old from
wow.
India.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah,
I
and
cannot
so I grew up in
imagine.
Greenville, Texas. So growing up, there's obviously a large Indian community in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Right.
At the time, there was none in Greenville. But so we'd always go to Dallas for any events, religious stuff like the temples and stuff.
Yeah.
And then growing up, I was the only Indian kid with a country accent.
Yeah.
It
is funny because
Yeah.
you do have a country accent.
I do. I really do. And that's
We rubbed off on you
yeah,
for sure.
definitely. I'm definitely all Greenville right now.
For
And,
sure.
even over a few years ago, me and Cynthia did a hick quiz on Facebook.
Oh, how
and apparently I was
funny.
more hick than she was. So go figure.
That's too funny. Did they come here because of E-Systems at the time?
No, the old Silver Spur Motel used to be on the interstate.
Okay.
I think it's
yeah.
like Budget Inn or whatever.
Yeah.
My dad's cousin owned it.
Okay.
And so he needed help running it. And at the time, my parents came to America a few years before me and my sister. They left us in India with family and came to America to get established before we came here,
Okay.
before they sent for us.
Okay.
So they came to Cincinnati, Ohio, where my mom's brother lived and still does. But when his cousin needed help here in Greenville, Texas, running the motel, my dad and my mom came to Greenville and got established there. And for the first couple of years, they helped. And then after a year or two, they ended up purchasing that motel from my uncle at the time. I guess he was my uncle. So my parents bought it. And then once they got established, we came to Greenville, Texas.
That is
And
so cool.
that's how I got here.
I love that. Okay, well, we're on Heart of Greenville, and we haven't talked about what you love about Greenville. So let's take just a minute and talk about what you love about Greenville.
I love that it's a small town. Everybody for the most part, takes care of each other, which is awesome. The hometowner puts us together. Friendly.
Yes.
I mean, he's a huge asset to this town. I mean, no matter if you need something, somebody will find it for you.
Absolutely.
Or if you need help, somebody's there willing to help you.
Absolutely.
Over the years after I, graduated, like I said, I worked in Dallas. So for a few years, I even went and lived in Richardson for a while. I was a young kid, over 21, so I partied a little. But that was for my benefit. But, it's like, it's so fast paced out there.
Right.
And, even though I was having fun, it wasn't home.
Yeah.
And so I got tired of it fairly quickly. After, like I said, I think I was only there about 18 months. I wasn't even there a full 2 years, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'd rather commute than live out here.
Yes.
And so I came back home.
Yeah.
So, this is my hometown. I was born in India, but this is home.
This is home.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
It is mine too.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to wrap up the show, and I told you I would ask you a final question, and
Okay.
I need your number, which will determine that question.
All right. Let's go with 17, since I've been open 17 years.
Oh, that's perfect. What is the one thing no one knows about you?
Oh, wow. Well, usually I would say I'm a black belt, but I've already kind of said that.
You already told us that.
So,
And you told us about your cancer. And by the way, I guess you're in remission and
yes,
everything's good?
yes. So like I said, I ended my last treatment in 2017 after 5 years, which was last year, I believe. they basically said that I'm cancer free.
That's
They
awesome.
wouldn't.
Congratulations.
They never use that word cancer or remission with leukemia. I guess it's because it's not like a mass. It's in the blood.
Right.
At least that's what my doctor kind of explained to me. But he said after about 5 years, if it's not come back, it's unlikely to come back.
That's good.
So,
That's good.
but shoot.
Okay, one thing.
One thing, it's hard to.
no
I don't
one
even
knows
know.
about you.
That's putting me on the spot. And having to think. Dang.
I know. I had someone pick that number, and
Yeah.
and it was a gentleman, and his answer was, "No one knows that I cry at the Christmas Hallmark movies."
Oh no. Well, I cry all the time. I'm all about chick flicks, and so
That's too funny.
That's
Is that the thing? Is that your thing?
I have no shame. I cry at chick flicks all the time.
you
So
watch
anytime me
the-
and Cynthia are watching movies, and we do watch a lot of Hallmark movies, especially during Christmas.
Right.
As soon as there's tears start flowing, me and Cynthia are like this, seeing if each other's are crying and who's doing it
crying
first.
the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That's too funny. This is why the Hallmark Christmas movies are working. This is
Oh,
why
yeah,
this is
definitely.
They're all of you guys are in the closet about that. That's awesome.
I wish they would break up the monotony of them, because it seems like every storyline's pretty much the same.
Right.
And just the characters are different, or the scene's a little different, but the
Right.
storyline's pretty much the same. But we watch them
You
anyway.
keep watching to see
Yeah.
if that's going to be the one.
Yeah,
Is this
exactly.
going to be the one? But
And there's a few over the years that we really like and we watch all the time. And
That's funny.
like even like Netflix, we've already started a Christmas watch list. Because during Christmas holiday, when the kids are out for
Yeah.
2 weeks, we basically
Yes.
have a movie night every night.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Do you have a favorite chick flick? Do you have one you watch on repeat?
Dirty Dancing. Sorry, guys.
That's too funny. Are they going to make you turn in your man card on that
I hope
one?
not.
Oh.
Hey, Patrick Swayze, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Can't argue that.
We can only learn from the man.
I love it. Ixit, thank you so much for
Well,
sitting
thanks for
down with
having
me
me.
today. This has been fun. Just
has
having
been
a
great.
conversation.
Yeah.
So thank you for what you do in our community. I know you plug in a lot of different ways.
I try
and
to
give
help
back
out where
to
I
our
can.
community. So
Yeah.
thank you for that, and I look forward to seeing you at the store.
Yep. Thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
having me.
Thank you for watching Heart of Greenville. This video series, which is designed to celebrate Greenville, Texas, is spearheaded by REMAX 3D Real Estate.